right. So just to carry on with the player theme, Kenny, is there a player that you foresee having like a great season with the Raiders that people aren't really talking about?
You know who I think is going to have a really good season with the Raiders? You look on the defensive side of the ball, and I'm going to go with Nate Hobbs. He had an injury last year. He came back. He didn't play as well as he wanted to, as he did his rookie year. I think Nate Hobbs is going to have that bounce back year where he just comes and lights it up. I think having a guy like Marcus Peters there to help, I think that it's great for his development because it's, the same type of player. And so I'm excited to see Hobbs and see what Hobbs can do. And, I'm expecting him to have a breakout year.
It's a good one. That is a really good one. Yeah, I love Nate Hobbs. That guy, he reminds me of when Nnamdi Asomugha was just starting to come on. He was just, God, I loved Asomugha on the Raiders. He was just so good. And Nate Hobbs, like, just coming out of nowhere, really. And the way he's been playing lately, I love Hobbs.
Do you think then, with the pieces that the Raiders have added, do you think Patrick Graham can turn this defense around and be much improved from last year?
I think so. He's finally got the pieces that fit his defense. And so, when you take over another defense and you try to install that defense or you try to install a system, players aren't going to fit in those systems. When it's just like when Paul Gunther came in. One, Paul Gunther's an idiot, but two, Paul Gunther tried to install a system and he was so inflexible in installing that system that the guys couldn't work in him. And you heard it from Arden Key when he left. You heard it from Cleveland Farrell. You heard it from a lot of guys that were in that system. And he's trying to force a round peg into a square hole, and it just doesn't work. And he got so frustrated with himself that he even said in an interview that he didn't know if he could win with the guys that he has out there because they won't do what he wants them to do. Well, then change the game. So I think Patrick Graham is smart enough because he's actually a really, really intelligent guy. Really has a high football IQ. He's somebody who's going to be able to go out there and really adjust it. And I think that you now have talent, not just talent at the first level, but you have talent at different levels. You have some depth at the bench, and that's what they didn't have last year.
Yeah, I'll go on offensive side of the ball, and I would say this one is probably an obvious one to a lot of Raider fans, but Michael Mayer, I think that guy is going to be. He's. I know everyone talks about like he's Gronk, but you just look at the rookie pictures when they were all taken. He was the biggest dude there. It was ridiculous. This guy, and he likes to block. He's not allergic to blocking, which is actually nice. Darren Waller did okay, but that's not his strength. And Mayer is a guy who can definitely catch and block as well. So I'm really looking forward to watching him this year. So he would be my player to watch. I mean, like I said, I think it's obvious for Raider fans, but I think for a lot of people who don't really know who the Raiders got, this guy is actually really. I was upset to see Waller go, but I'm excited to see this guy play for sure.
Yeah, I think he's a guy that's going to stay healthy. I think that's the biggest thing. I love Waller. I think that Waller's a great tight end when he's healthy, but Waller hasn't been healthy. And it seemed like Waller last year just wasn't really into it. You saw him go, skipping to go to the Aces game. All those things kind of stand out. There was people. I remember Carr and Devontae were talking about players not putting in the work, and everybody alluded that it was Waller. And so, you just want to see him get back to where he was working hard and really defining himself. And I think that he'll do that. But I'm excited about Mayer. He's basically, our version of Rob Gronkowski, hopefully. And seeing him and Hooper out there is going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And McDaniels does like to run a lot of tight end runs. So that'll really help a lot. And he could be somebody that, could very easily be a secret offensive weapon for us and help in the blocking game too, which would be really great.